So, welcome, guys. Today we are joined by Tracey from Natural Approach. And Tracey has an incredible range of natural deodorants that are available on Yo Life and has a great backstory, I guess, about the reason why she started this incredible brand. So, welcome, Tracey. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Tracy. Thanks so much for having me.
So, Tracey, now I mentioned that you have this fantastic backstory, I guess, of the reasons why you started this brand. So, tell us, the viewers, I guess, and us a little bit more about the reasons behind it.
Yeah, sure. So, from a really young age, I suffered from excessive sweating and really bad BO. It was pretty embarrassing, and I struggled to find effective products. And I tried pretty much everything I could get my hands on. I think one of the first things was a can of Impulse deodorant that my mum gave me when I was like 9 years old. But I found products either used to give me rashes or just weren't effective. They made me smell worse, or in bed in my clothes. So I eventually came across natural deodorant, and I loved the idea of knowing what goes in your product and being able to have a go at making my own. So I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll give it a go. And so what actually turned into a hobby has now turned into a business that, I sell the products right around Australia. So it took a lot of trial and error. I went on to study natural skincare as well. And so I've been making it since 2017. And excited now to share it with everybody. So.
Fantastic. So now you mentioned some benefits, because we've had a discussion before, and I've told you that I'm also a lover of the natural deodorant because it's cured some, I guess, things for me as well. And I've got some benefits. What are some of the benefits that you've seen from using natural deodorants?
So number one for me is it works. But what I love is knowing exactly what I'm putting on my body. So when I was using products that contained like aluminium salts or antiperspirants, I didn't think much about it back then, but I was actually blocking my sweat glands and stopping my natural bodily functions. So now when I use a deodorant, for me, the main thing is to have no odor, because that was the most embarrassing thing. It's quite different to apply than your normal aerosols. You actually massage it into your armpit, so that for me is a benefit because I get to know my body as well, and check for unusual lumps and bumps. Like I said, I know exactly what goes on my body. It works, and I actually have noticed my sweating has reduced, even though it's not an antiperspirant. So I just feel a lot more confident with looking after my body using natural.
I totally agree. I think that's one of the biggest things that I realised, or one of the biggest benefits for me, was the reduction in sweat, but also to a lovely odour that stays, or not even an odour, you actually end up not getting an odour under your arms, I've found. So that I guess BO or unpleasant sort of smell completely disappears, so it's there's some great benefits there. You mentioned the application, which was one of the questions I guess I wanted to ask you. To apply Natural Approach deodorants, how much do you need, and how long should you massage it under your arms for?
Yeah, actually, I've got a little tin here if you want me to.
Let's do it.
This is one of the peppermint spearmint tea tree.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that one.
Oh, I feel it's so fresh. This is actually one of the biggest questions people ask. They're like, I've never heard of a deodorant balm. Like, they're so used to sprays. But one of these tins here actually should last you over 3 months worth of application, and that's based on one application per day. So for me, I just, in the morning before I get dressed, I just put a tiny amount. I don't know if you can see that okay. Yep, it says pea size or whatever, but I even use less. So I just get that and then massage it into my armpit, and then let it absorb before you put your clothes on, and it dries clear. You shouldn't feel anything really.
I was going to say, you're a step ahead of me, because it's the one thing that I wanted to bring up as well, because one of the things that I've noticed about the Natural Approach natural deodorants, which is what I absolutely love, is it doesn't leave any residue on your clothing. So when you use it in the right amount, you don't get that, those white stains and all those sorts of things that you can get onto tops. Now, you mentioned, Tracey, I guess, one of the benefits as well of, using a natural deodorant, and especially yourself using a product that you've made yourself, is knowing exactly what's going on to your skin and then your body absorbing it. Tell us a little bit about some of the ingredients that you use in the range.
Yeah, so we love ingredients that are certified organic, fair trade, ethically sourced. So we use coconut oil, shea butter, tapioca flour, either bicarb soda as the main deodorizer, or in our sensitive skin range, I've got magnesium hydroxide. I've got vitamin E, which helps slow down the oxidation process of our essential oils. And there's also beeswax to help firm up the balm as well. So they don't actually melt like in really hot environments. If you left it in the car, it's not going to melt or liquefy, it'll just soften. So yeah, and we're very particular. So I like to know exactly where my ingredients come from. And I source suppliers that, for instance, the coconut oil, that comes from Nui Life. And I just love their story. 100% of their profits are donated back to the islanders who actually produce the coconut oil. So these are the type of suppliers that we look for. We want to give back not only through that chain, but we do donations and things as well.
So now one question I want to have is, how safe, I guess, is it? Is it safe for anyone to use, or, is it a certain age bracket? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so when we do our testing, we've always done it on adults, but saying that, we do have a lot of like teenagers, even younger, use the product. Our bodies are all so different. So with any skincare as well, I always recommend doing a little patch test. So my kids use it for all sorts of things, bites and stings and rashes. And
wow.
Yeah, so it's got lots of uses, not just as a deodorant balm. So.
Oh, fantastic. Well, they've all got such a beautiful scent and aroma to them as well, Yeah, is there a most popular scent, do you find?
Yes, I have this one here as well.
Oh,
yeah. The lemongrass, lime and patchouli, by far is the biggest colour.
That's one of my
this
favourites.
One, yeah, this one's available in our sensitive skin range and with the bicarb soda as well. But a little app that I found really helpful for me, because it's, there's a lot to learn. It's called Think Dirty.
Haven't seen that.
Yeah, so that little app's very helpful. It's full of skincare products, beauty products, you name it. There's a lot on there, and you can actually upload your own for them to check. And then it gives it a rating score of how clean or how dirty that product is, and what part of that product's ingredients is something that you might want to check out. So yeah,
absolutely. And look, I think also too, not that I'm, I guess, as informed as probably yourself, but, my gut instinct and the information that I've read tells me that, as a woman, and our lymph glands that sit underneath our arms, the best thing that we can do is use a natural product under our arms, but as well as on our skin too. So.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you want to, I guess, look at deodorants, there is so much conflicting evidence and no conclusive evidence about aluminium salts. But I do have a lot of women come to me that have been recently diagnosed with breast cancer, which is, really sad, the number of women. But what the number one thing that their oncologist said is to go natural with deodorant, or don't use any at all, for them to avoid any of the aerosols with, aluminium salt. So for me, that's like a real strong message if it's coming from their oncologist.
Do you have a number one health tip?
I think it's just really important that you start to get familiar with your products and actually understand what ingredients are in your products and what you're putting on your body. Because the more research I do, and, look at reputable sources, go and have a look at some journal articles of proper studies that have been done, because there's so much information on the internet. Yeah, just start to have a read through and look at some of the ingredients that you might want to avoid. And for me, one of those is synthetic fragrances. That's just something that I have read about and that I think is something I don't want my family to use. It is a bit tricky because everything these days you look at on the supermarket shelf tends to have synthetic fragrances.
Now, Tracey, a couple of questions that I ask, I guess, all of our suppliers that we have a chat to is, do you have a favourite quote or motto?
Oh, there's been a few over the years, but at the moment, I guess it's just be kind always. You know, on social media, you know, you can often see moments where people aren't being kind, and really it's just one of those things. Just scroll past, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say, move on.
One other question I have for you, and our final question, is what does it mean for Natural Approach to be on a platform like YoLife?
I think it's a fantastic opportunity to, I guess, have that exposure, because, you know, your page is so wonderful to support so many, I guess, Australian skincare products and health benefit type products. So to be amongst them all, it's just a fantastic opportunity for exposure, because when you're in this industry and manufacturing, you know, I could sit here and make thousands of tins of deodorant, but if nobody knows I exist, you know, it's not going to move and my business is not going to be viable. So I really appreciate us having this relationship, and looking forward to growing in the future. So
thank you.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, we really love having Natural Approach on board with YoLife and available to our customers. It's an absolutely fantastic product, and I look forward to working with you more in the future as well.